Ìròyìn ní ṣókí ló ń dé sétí ìgbọ̀yìn láti iléeṣẹ́ Wisdom Yard Television. Ọdún Ayàdélérè lóníròyìn yín. Ṣáájú ẹ gbọ́ kókó oníròyìn náà. Ṣé lóòótọ́ ni ààrẹ ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin Akpabio ṣubú tó sì dákú níbi ayẹyẹ ọjọ́ ìbí rẹ̀? Portable àti Pasuma rọ òjò orin lé àwọn olùjọ́sìn nínú ìjọ Sẹ̀lẹ̀. Ààrẹ ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà Godswill Akpabio ti sọ̀rọ̀ sókè lẹ́yìn ìròyìn tó ní ó ṣubú lulẹ̀ níbi ayẹyẹ ọjọ́ ìbí rẹ̀. Akpabio níṣe lórí òun àti pé òun ti ń bá àìsàn ibà fínra ṣáájú ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ náà. Ṣáájú ni ìròyìn ti kọ́kọ́ sọ pé Akpabio ṣubú tó sì dákú lásìkò tó ń sin ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà Aṣíwájú Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu jáde nínú gbọ̀ngàn ilé ìtura Transcorp Hilton tó wà ní ìlú Àbújá níbi tí ayẹyẹ náà ti wáyé. Nígbà tó ń bá àwọn akọ̀ròyìn sọ̀rọ̀ ní ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin Àbújá lọ́jọ́ Ẹtì, Akpabio kò sọ bóyá lóòótọ́ ni òun ṣubú tàbí dákú, àmọ́ fìdí rẹ̀ múlẹ̀ pé àìsàn ibà ń bá òun fínra, àìsàn náà sì ti wọ òun lára látàrí wàhálà tí òun ń ṣe. Ó ní ohun tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lẹ́yìn ayẹyẹ náà ṣe àfihàn ìfẹ́ tí a ní sí ara wa gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ ènìyàn. Mo lọ sí ilé, mo pe dókítà mi, ó sì jẹ́ kó yé mi pé mo ní àìsàn ibà lára pẹ̀lú gbogbo wàhálà tí mò ń ṣe. Kò sí ẹni tí kò lè ṣe àárẹ̀, ẹ jọ̀wọ́ ẹ máa mu omi lójoojúmọ́ kó má bàa rẹ àgọ́ ara yín. Èyí túmọ̀ sí pé a ó tẹ̀síwájú láti máa ṣe iṣẹ́ wa. Mo fẹ́ fi àkókò yìí dá àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà lójú pé digbí ni ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin wà, a ó sì tẹ̀síwájú nínú iṣẹ́ wa gẹ́gẹ́ bí aṣòfin. Gbajúmọ̀ olórin tàkasúfèé ni Àbíbò Kìkíọlá tí ọ̀pọ̀ èèyàn mọ̀ sí Portable tún ti kọrin nínú ìjọ Sẹ̀lẹ̀ lọ́jọ́ Ẹtì tó kọjá. Portable pàtẹ àlùjọ nínú ilé ìjọsìn Celestial Church of Christ Land of Goshen Cathedral tó wà ní agbègbè Ògùdù ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó lásìkò tí wọ́n ṣe ìsìn àṣálẹ́yìn tí elédè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì ń pè ní Praise Night. Ọjọ́ díẹ̀ sẹ́yìn ni ìròyìn ti kọ́kọ́ gbọ́rí ayélujára nípa bí ìjọ àwọn ọmọlẹ́yìn Kristi ọ̀hún ṣe fi ìwé pe Portable tó jẹ́ olórin ayé àti akọrin míì Pasuma tóun náà jẹ́ akọrin Fuji. Ọjọ́rú ọjọ́ 29 oṣù kọkànlá 2023 ní ìwé ìpè tó ń kéde àṣálẹ́yìn náà jáde sórí òpó ayélujára Facebook. Yàtọ̀ sí Pasuma àti Portable tí wọ́n jẹ́ olórin ayé, àwọn elétò náà tún pe ọmọbìnrin olórin kan tórúkọ rẹ̀ ń jẹ́ Meshua. Evangelist Sunday JP táwọn èèyàn túmọ̀ sí the governor Ebúdọlá one of Lagos ní pásítọ̀ tó hàn nínú ìwé ìpè ọ̀hún. Ìkéde náà fa àríyànjiyàn pàápàá láàrin àwọn Kìrìsìtẹ́nì tó gbàgbọ́ pé kò bójúmu fún irú àwọn akọrin bẹ́ẹ̀ láti wá kọrin nínú ilé ìjọsìn. Olórí ìjọ Sẹ̀lẹ̀ lápapọ̀ Ọlátọ́ṣọ́ Ọ̀ṣọ́fà ní nǹkan bí ọ̀sẹ̀ kan sẹ́yìn ló kéde pé Portable kò ní kópa níbi ìsìn àṣálẹ́ táwọn fẹ́ ṣe. Ó ní òun ti bá evangelist ìjọ tó fi ìkéde yìí síta sọ̀rọ̀ tó sì ti gbọ́ àgbọ́yé pé àwọn kò fààyè gba olórin ayé láti wá síbi ètò ìsìn ìjọ náà. Nígbà tí ariwo kò rọlẹ̀ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ náà, adarí ìjọ kan tún padà kéde pé Portable kò ní wá síbi ìsìn àṣálẹ́yìn náà mọ́, ṣùgbọ́n akọrin náà ní dandan ni kí òun wá kọrin níbẹ̀. Ìyàlẹ́nu sì ló jẹ́ nígbà tí akọrin tàkasúfèé ènìyàn ọ̀hún gúnlẹ̀ síbi ètò ìsìn náà ní alẹ́ ọjọ́ Ẹtì ọjọ́ 15 oṣù kejìlá tó sì kọrin lórí ìtàgé. Nínú fídíò kan tí ọ̀gbẹ́ni Portable sórí ayélujára Facebook rẹ̀ láti rí tó ń kọ lára àwọn orin rẹ̀ bíi Zazu fún ẹgbẹgbẹ̀rún ènìyàn tó péjọ láti gbọ́ tí àwọn náà sì ń kọrin tẹ̀lé. Yàtọ̀ sí èyí, aṣọ funfun tí wọ́n ń pè ní sùtánà, èyí tó jẹ́ aṣọ tí àwọn ọmọ ìjọ Sẹ̀lẹ̀ máa ń wọ̀ ní Portable wọ̀ láti fi kọrin náà. Portable nìkan kọ́ ló kọrin níbi ìpéjọ àwọn ọmọ ìjọ náà. Ògbóǹtarìgì akọrin Fuji ní Wàsíù Àlàbí tí gbogbo èèyàn túmọ̀ sí Pasuma náà kọrin bákan náà. Nínú fídíò kan tí ìjọ CCC Land of Goshen fi sórí ayélujára Facebook wọn ní Pasuma ti kọ àwọn orin ẹ̀mí àti àlùjọ Fuji. Bó ṣe ń kọ àwọn orin náà ni àwọn ènìyàn ń gbé orin náà tẹ̀lé lẹ́yìn. Kódà nígbà tó tó àsìkò kan, àwọn kan nínú agbó jáde sí orí ìtàgé láti ná owó fún akọrin náà. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, ẹ gbọ́ kókó oníròyìn náà. Ṣé lóòótọ́ ni ààrẹ ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin Akpabio ṣubú tó sì dákú níbi ayẹyẹ ọjọ́ ìbí rẹ̀? Portable àti Pasuma rọ òjò orin lé àwọn olùjọ́sìn nínú ìjọ Sẹ̀lẹ̀. Èyí ni òpin ìròyìn wa ní ṣókí ti àkókò yìí. Ẹ má gbàgbé láti kàn sí wa lórí àwọn ayélujára bíi ti Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok àti YouTube. Kó tí tó dìgbà mìíràn, orúkọ ti tèmi ní Ọdún Ayàdélérè.
high level of insecurity in Nigeria, mostly in the northeast and northwestern parts of the country, has led to death of many people and rendered millions homeless. The insurgents have seen a lot of reprisal attack from the three armed forces in Nigeria, with the Nigerian army as a significant role player. The past and recent airstrikes from the Nigerian Air Force and Nigerian Army has raised a lot of concerns and questions. What is the impact of the airstrike so far? Is the Nigerian Air Force putting in their best effort to eradicate insurgency in the northern part of the country? This is Weekend Insight. Hello there, you are welcome to the program. I am Olaide. Over the years, the Nigerian Air Force and Nigerian Army has carried out a series of attacks on the terrorists in the northern part of the country. Most attacks come from the Nigerian Air Force came from area parts, which led to the destruction of terrorist hideouts and killing of fighters and notable leaders of the deadly terrorist groups. While the Nigerian Army also contributed a quota to the series of airstrikes on the terrorists in the northern part of the country. In addition to boost the workforce of the Nigerian Air Force, the Nigerian government has boosted the force morale by acquiring fighter jets and modern equipment to tackle the insurgency. The government also encouraged the training of airmen and airwomen in operating the fighter jet, weapons, and modern warfare equipment. In a recent development, the Nigerian Air Force decorated 12 combat pilots. According to the Chief of Air Staff, Hassan Abubakar, the new combat pilots were being injected at a time when Nigerian Air Force had immensely benefited from the federal government's determination to provide necessary platforms and equipment in the fight against terrorism, insurgency, and other forms of criminality. Recently, the Nigerian Army carried out an airstrike attack on the garden of people who were celebrating Maulud at Tudunbiri village, Kaduna, which claimed over 100 lives. The Nigerian Army has described this bombardment of the Maulud celebrants as a mistake for terrorist gathering. This attack has been criticized by human rights organizations, decision makers, and notable people in the north and around the globe. Before I introduce my guest, let's hear from our reporter.
The Defense Headquarters says the drone attack on the Ligama community in Igabi local government area of Kaduna State on Sunday was based on information about untoward activities of terrorists in the area. This is contained in a statement by the Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, on Tuesday in Abuja. Buba said the Nigerian Army Unmanned Area Vehicle UAV detachment had, at about 2,200 hours on Sunday, observed the movement of terrorists at Ligaman, known to be a terrorist-infested area of Kaduna State. He said the area surveillance captured the movement of groups of persons synonymous with the terrorist tactics and mode of operation. Buba explained that the observed advance of the terrorists that was gathered posed a threat to key infrastructure within reach of their activities. According to him, the threat was eliminated to prevent the terrorists from unleashing terror on innocent civilians. He noted that terrorists often deliberately embed themselves within civilian population centers for the civilian population to bear the consequences of their atrocities. In another event, the Nigerian Air Force revealed that it has neutralized numerous terrorist elements at Saoni Doka in Igabi local government area of Kaduna State. This was revealed by the Director of the Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Edward Gapquet, in a statement in Abuja. Gapquet said that the air interdiction mission was carried out by the Nigerian Air Force components of operation, while Punch, after credible intelligence, revealed the presence of a terrorist kingpin known as Boderi and his foot soldiers at Saoni Doka. Subsequently, airstrikes were carried out on the location in the early hours of November 16, 2023, with devastating consequences on the terrorists. Similar strikes with positive outcomes were also carried out at a location about 500 meters east of Boderi's hideout, believed to be the hiding place of Boderi's brother, Nasiru. Both strikes were very successful as several terrorists were neutralized and their motorcycles. Toyosi Adeshino, reporting for Wizomia Television.
Joining me in the studio, I have Ahmed Abbas Olatunji, who is going to be analyzing things with me here in the studio. Thank you for joining me on the program.
You're welcome.
Well, let me start by commiserating with the people of Kaduna State in general, because what happened recently is something that's really so saddening, and I pray that everything will be sorted very soon and get the justice. By relating this with the program, what may be the cause of the continuous operation of terrorists in the north, despite several airstrikes by the Nigerian Air Force, mainly on the terrorist hideout?
Well, thank you. Terrorists, I doubt that is a no for me. Because if you know where terrorists are eating, there is no need for you to bomb people, villages that are just, doing celebration. So I feel there is incompetency, level of incompetency in this act. Because if you check, normally if there is going to be an airstrike from any part of where they feel the terrorists are hiding, there should be a map that will lead them to where they are going to bomb, the exact place. So they could not imagine if people are staying. At least that's the reason why you see Nigeria is a country that that we lacking behind. We are lacking behind in some areas. When it comes to government knowing where people stay. That's why when they were talking about censor in Nigeria, I feel even the censor officials cannot say they are giving us the real numbers of the population in Nigeria, because there are some places. Just imagine, I've not heard about the village that was being bombed last week. I've not heard about it before. It was just because of this bomb I get to know that there's a place called Tudunbiri or something in Nigeria. You see, so which means even government officials, imagine the Nigerian Air Force was saying they didn't know that that's not the hideout of the terrorists and they had to bomb. So according to your question, you're asking why these things keep coming up with the see, let me say this. We are in a country whereby we don't know our rights. To be sincere, and it's not because it's not a matter of we not knowing our rights. It's the matter of we not having any say on anything. If you want to say anything, the government will not allow you to speak. And look at what happened in Kaduna. We are supposed to come together, the masses, and fight the government. And now, if you check, those officers are in charge of this bombing. What are the steps they've taken on them? Now, the people are shouting, we need justice, we want justice. Do you remember what happened in ESA? Still today, we still never get justice on that. So I feel the terrorism in the northern part of Nigeria cannot stop yet. Why? Because if you check, what is the reason why we don't have much of terrorism act in the southern part of Nigeria and the eastern part of Nigeria? It's education. So let me just say I'm still going to come back on that because I have a lot of things to talk about the insecurity in the northern part of Nigeria.
Well, let's quickly go on a short commercial break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
When life breaks into the beautiful splendor of nature, and the kids can't just resist the temptation to explore to its zenith with the full assurance that the perfect backup is on the way for a perfect refilling. Nokpa, we always come to the rescue anytime, anywhere, any day, anyway, anyhow, round the clock. The family just can't get a better companion aside Nokpa. Nokpa Herbal Mixture, the family's best bet.
With Nokpa, healthy living is guaranteed for me and my family.
With Nokpa for management of power.
You're welcome back to the program. Let's continue with this question. I'm asking you.
Okay.
You said we have high level of incompetency
Exactly.
in the government sector and the armed force sector.
Exactly.
Okay, relating this with the recent airstrikes by the Nigerian army, they said they took an order from the Nigerian Air Force before they can proceed to
The airstrike.
the airstrike. But the Nigerian Air Force refused then in order not to carry the airstrike.
Okay.
But they went ahead to carry out the airstrike.
Who are those people that went ahead to carry out an operation that was not being set for them to do?
And recently, the Air Commodore Capcourt, he said the air interdiction in that same village, Tudumbiri,
yeah.
they bombed some terrorist hideouts, which led to the killing of one of the notable leaders of terrorist groups, Boderi and his men. Then, why are they doing that? They even want to come in with the aspect of AI, artificial intelligence. Is that the right thing, or what do you see to it?
Well, you see, AI before the invention of AI, we've been living. There are a lot of security measures that they could put in place instead of AI. But then, advancing to technology is not a problem. But let's look at it. What of our land soldiers? Let's start from them. You see, even with the fact that we have a lot of land soldiers that are fighting for Nigeria, you know, fighting Boko Haram and all, they still face a lot in the forest, trying to find bandits. Now, AI is not our problem. If you have AI, people are still going to be in control of AI. Now, if there is incompetency, and if there is no, if there is a country that is not working, there is nothing that is going to work in that country. Because now, take a look at it. The last time I checked, the soldiers were complaining that they increased their feeding allowance with just 200 naira from 1,000 naira, making 1,200 naira for a soldier that is fighting for a country, whereby a dog that is in the prison, Nigerian prison, is being fed with 800 naira in a day. You see, there is no working country, so every other thing will be affected. Now, you saying they said they bombed some terrorists in Tudunbiri before, they now the last airstrike now affected the community. Now, let me ask, where were those terrorists? Did they give us the pictures of those terrorists they killed with the bomb? Because how sure are we that even the people they call terrorists that they bomb is not the villagers in that community? How do you know that this is a terrorist? When you never get to know their real hideout, you're just bombing innocent lives and you're claiming they are terrorists. You see, this country, we need to get to know that there are things that federal governments are too lenient in doing. They don't know how to do it, so they should ask or bring in more experienced people to go through it before they now started acting on it. Just imagine they are practicing airstrike on terrorists and they don't know their hideout. Let's say the bomb mistakenly dropped in a community whereby we have large numbers of people. What do you think will happen? That is just a village that leads to almost 150,000 lives lost. As at that time till now that the bombing happened. So let's call a spade a spade. We don't have a working country. So even if they bring AI, even if they bring the most all the technologies in this whole world, if they bring it to Nigeria to fight insecurity, we will still find ourselves in the same pit that we are.
Well, thank you for that. Actually, you said lack of competence, and you made mention of soldiers having the increment of 200 naira to the allowance.
Exactly.
Recently, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu went ahead to the National Assembly to tender the 2024 budget, and out of the budget we have 3 billion naira for the armed forces budget in 2024, and the Nigerian army complaining that the amount is too small.
You see, 3 billion naira just for the whole armed forces. Now Tinubu and Shetima is to use almost 7 billion naira for food. Are you getting it now? Just 2 personnel. So what is it, because they are president or they are the one leading, they are the leader? Have you ever thought about it, like the whole security agency under the Nigerian armed force is spending 3 billion naira, not just for their feeding allowance. Everything that has to do with their welfare is 3 billion naira. Whereas we have a president and the vice president that are spending almost 7 billion naira on their own feeding allowance. Is that a working country? So let's ask ourselves these questions. You see, they know. How will you fight for your country that is not helping you? How do you want to fight with your blood? You see, there's a oath the soldiers signed when they wanted to get this job. They always sign an oath, just like a corps member. Every corps member signed an oath before they, serve their country. It's just like that. That's how they do in the army. The corps are paramilitaries too. You understand? So why will I be working for someone and the person is not treating me well? You expect me to work well? It's not done. The government needs to know that there are things that they need to put in place if they want a work. Okay, let me say this. What if there are some government officials behind this bombing? What if people that want to introduce AI brought this idea of, okay, let's do it like this. Let's bomb the villagers. Let's sacrifice these villagers so as government can sign the budget of bringing AI into the security insurgency in Nigeria. Now, if they sign the AI thing, Now, you know, they will still tell you they are spending almost something billion on bringing AI to the Nigerian security agency. You understand? So all these things are just ways to gain more money to me, because if you check, even before this this Boko Haram and this thing started, that's how it is. In Nigeria, it was just like that right from time. You know, they will start. There will be some coup. There will be some set of people that are planning evil on Nigerian government. Before you know it, they will use it to extract money out of Nigerian pocket. You understand? And we don't have anything. We don't have a say. Even the NLC president, all the people that are fighting for the masses, they can't even say anything, because almost all of them are being corrupted. So if a country is not working, every other thing cannot work. I'm still standing on that word.
Okay. According to the Nigerian Air Force, in a recent development by the Nigerian Air Force, the Nigerian Air Force graduated 12 locally trained combat pilots. And if you relate it with the artificial intelligence that the Nigerian Army are vying for, like they want artificial intelligence to carry out the surveillance, do you think the training acquired will be of standard, or the Nigerian Air Force should recruit highly trained international combat trainer? And also, the Nigerian Army should have the artificial intelligence surveillance that they are seeking for?
Well, even if I said it earlier, the invention of artificial intelligence is not the problem. You see, Nigeria will tell you something. They will tell you A today, and what you are going to get is B. The Nigerian Air Force are not doing, I've not seen what they've done before. I've not heard about Nigerian Air Force trying to fight for Nigeria, or they've done this, they've done that. The only thing we get to know is maybe on the sea or on the land. The first time I'm going to see Nigerian Air Force on the news trying to carry out an operation is this mistake that they made, that went viral. Although it has happened before, there was a case that they mistakenly bombed somewhere before. That was maybe some months or some years ago. But then, you know, that's a bygone. But when we talk about them saying they need commandos, or they need special intelligence or whatever, that's not the problem. Even if Nigerian government provides all these things that they needed, they can still not work. Why? Because the country is not working. There are some people behind all these things. This is not happening naturally. Ask me, have you asked yourself, why is it that in the northern part we do things like this come from the northern part of Nigeria? Have you asked yourself that? You see, I told someone, I said education is important to every man's life. If you check, if you are educated, you know the value of life, you know the value of property. In the northern part, what they believe is, if you an average Hausa will tell you, the money I made today, I'll finish spending it today. Why? Because I may die tomorrow. You understand? So killing of lives in the north cannot stop. Why? Because they feel once you die, that's the end. That's how God has written it in the book of life, that this is the amount of the days you use in this on this planet Earth. So you see, this thing cannot stop. Why? Because they've tried. When during the time of some I don't want to mention names here. You know, during their administration, they've used all these bandits against some other government. You understand? So these bandits grew in this evil act, and they started using it for themselves. Now they can't curb it. Why? Because they are growing every day. A man, an average Nigerian man that doesn't have what to eat, and is being called that, come, let's go and bomb somewhere, or let's go and kidnap someone. We are going to have so amount in your account. Do you think we will not do it? And they did it first. They did it in the first place. They were not being apprehended. They did it second time. You know. How do you want them to stop? It's a lucrative business. Now, kidnapping is a lucrative business in Nigeria. Bandits are now making it even more than graduates. So what are we saying? This thing cannot stop until the government spend money on things that are necessary. Look at the news. Every day we do here. Government, they want to renovate this house with so billion naira. They want to renovate office with so billion naira. And you expect a bandit that has, an average Nigerian that has been to school, graduated with good grades, not having job, and he sees an opportunity to work for someone and as a kidnapper, so as for him to be collecting ransom. And to be sincere, let's see it in this way. What if the other parties are trying to, do all these things just to make people, turn their back on APC? You see, a lot of things is being attached to all these happenings. So we cannot trust anybody. I can't trust federal government. I can't even trust the opposition party.
Okay, relating this thing I want to say, I want you to talk about governments behind the terrorism in terms of people called the terrorists coming out in numbers day by day. Maybe there are some government entity behind them. They are sponsoring them. Okay. Last administration where the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, we have some repentance Boko Haram who were granted amnesty that time. And with that, you know, granting someone amnesty, someone who has already caused atrocities, a lot of atrocities, caused a lot of damage to the society. That simply means that the person, whenever the person is being caught, should be dealt with, and so that the people that suffered the casualties should get justice. And should we say, well, is the implementation of granting amnesty to repentant terrorists a factor that is boosting terrorism in the north?
Thank you so much. You see, let me quickly say this, because I think in Nigeria we don't know what is necessary. Why will you caught a thief, put a thief in a prison, and in some days you now brought him out? Have you repented? He said yes, and you still give him money to start another life. See, once a thief is always a thief. You don't understand. Let me tell you something. I told someone, if the constitution of Nigeria still remain the same, the rule of law still remain the same, there is no amendment, there is no new innovations in the constitution of Nigeria, will keep on doing the same thing, and the country will not grow. Now, you're talking about terrorists in the last administration, whereby they were being granted amnesty, people that are the repentant Boko Haram. That is wrong, totally wrong. Because how will you say someone that kills will repent? It's not possible. You are just like you are training an armed robber to be more to be more strong. You understand? Like, let me say this: Nigeria is a country whereby if you slap a police officer, let's say you slap a police officer, you're going to the prison. But if a police officer slaps a normal citizen, they will tell you, even if the citizen has done nothing for the police officer, they will tell you you were the one that will be apprehended. Why? Because you are being stubborn to the police officer. So you don't have anybody. You don't have a say. Even if you have a lawyer, the government they will tell you. Yoruba will say Ijoba Muni Mogu. You don't understand. There's nothing you want to do to the government. So they are just promoting terrorists by giving them granting them amnesty. You see, what the last administration did was they were trying to bring back old memories of when the militants are trying to disturb Nigerians too. You know, if you remember the Niger Delta militant during the time of Olujosin and Goodluck Jonathan and all, you see, they granted them amnesty just to shut them up and not to allow them to disturb the peace of the nation again. So now they feel, maybe the last administration feel, if they don't do that to Boko Haram too, they will stop. Although, you know, these days we didn't hear a lot of, we don't hear news about Boko Haram these days, like before, you understand. But what of these kidnapping and bandits? It's getting too much. It's just, so they know what they can do to curb this, to be sincere. Because I knew it that at least all the soldiers, they are trained soldiers. They can go anywhere. We have some special armed forces that what they do is to just work like the CID, get information that cannot be known to the whole masses. So I know they have people that can, if they put hands on deck, they will get this down. But it will never happen. Why? Because even the government are gaining from all this. Government will tell you they bought this flying jet for the Air Force. They bought it 5 million naira. I'm just using it as an example. Whereas it is just 1 million naira they bought it. Who is going to question them? Where did they get it? Did they show us the receipt? Look at the aircraft they bought from Ethiopia that they said they bought. Those ones, it was just like installment payment. They had to buy this thing, paint to paint an aeroplane. You see, we are just being gullible in Africa. I don't want to say Nigeria. Imagine an African country doing another African country.
Well, let's take this quickly. How you talk about governments trying to mainly in the issue of insurgency, the issue of terrorism in the country. Should we blame the continuous operations of the terrorists in the northern part, mostly or in Nigeria in general, on the government or the armed forces?
We can't blame it on the armed forces. Why? Because who is the armed forces? Who is the government? They are just one. You understand? The armed force cannot do anything if the government did not give them that go ahead. You understand? So, okay, like for example, imagine the Director General was saying it on national TV that every employee that is the corps members are working under should treat corps members well. They should give them a good welfare because they are working for them. What of corps members that are not working? You understand? Even if as an employee I want to treat my corps member well, what if the corps member is not ready to work? Do you expect me to treat him or her well? You understand? That's what I'm saying. Like they don't see things generally. They just see things in their own sides and they feel that's the way to do things. So this thing is being it is not the matter of the Air Force. It's the problem of the government. Because I said something earlier when we started this show. I said if the country is now working, nothing is going to work. So we can't blame the Air Force. Why? Because check, if you ask the Air Force, the people, the armed forces in Nigeria, ask them questions. Ask them things that you are using to fight, are they original or fake? You see, there's nothing original in Nigeria. Let us know that. Let's admit that. So the problem is the government. If they get good tools and they will be able to fight, the armed forces will be able to bring out, to carry out their assignment the way it's supposed to be.
Well, it has been a wonderful journey so far on the program, and it's very insightful, and I want to thank you for joining me on the program today.
You're welcome.
Kindly join us next week for more insightful program on your Weekend Insight, and don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Wisdom Television. Bye for now.